man, I accidentally flipped all the way back to Cambion. Aw, do you remember Cambion? We were in the same room for Cambion.
Yeah, we were.
Hi, I'm Emmy.
And I'm James.
And welcome back to the Bestiary Monster Manual A to Z. And James, what are we looking at today?
Well, today we're continuing our sort of deepish dive into the section on devils. These guys have really been given a lot more oomph recently with the release of the Descent into Avernus campaign. There's some seriously cool stuff in it, and today we're finishing off our look at the lesser devils, although some of these guys, I don't think that's really an accurate description.
Yeah, lesser devils still pack a heck of a wallop. Once you really get above this level, you're starting to reach things that are going to hit you and hit you hard. And you're getting to the point where you're going to see a lot more active manipulation. These are going to be more ambitious devils. These are things that have their sight on the prize, and the prize might just very well be you.
Yeah. Speaking of prizes, the Barbed Devil, first one we're looking at. Very much used as guards and watchers. Often they'll be tasked to protect something of value, and they're quite good at doing that.
Yes, that is primarily what they are set about to do. They do not tire, they do not get bored. They're very insightful, so they're hard to lie to.
Very perceptive.
But they're also greedy, which is a fun little character note, that they're always going to be watching for the moment that you let your guard down, and they might actually be able to sneak some of the treasure out themselves.
I think a lot of those traits are quite well encompassed in their artwork. Like that stance, you can see the alertness in it, you can see the sort of almost defensive posture, but there's also that devious nature to it that's it is like a little bit sneaky and not to be trusted.
He almost looks, in video game ready screens where you'll be fighting somebody who's a little bit more monk inclined and they've got bouncy feet. I feel as though that's what this guy is in the middle of doing. He's got like that fisticuffs sort of stance.
Yeah, I can see that.
And the color. It's a weird thing to look at, but I love the color of him and the shape of him. It says so much about his personality. And you can tell a little bit about how he attacks as well, because you can see his underside doesn't have any spines, but everything surrounding him, much, again, like a hellish porcupine, has spines on the back. So if you grapple this guy, he actually does piercing damage to him. You don't want to grab him.
And we talked about, would that also apply to him grappling you? And no, really, these guys are intelligent enough to know that they're much better to rely on those vicious, big, sharp claws and their ability to throw fire at you. The barbs and the spines are really more of a defense mechanism.
Yes, it's got a multi-attack. It can hit you with its tail, its claws. Hurl fire. I mean, again, I'm imagining you having a conversation with this guy. As we're saying, role-playing with devils happens a little bit more often. I'm imagining a group of adventurers coming up to a vault, trying to talk this guy into getting into the vault, him figuring it out, and just throwing fire at you. Go away!
It's kind of like a spiky Grinch.
Oh, I can't unsee that. Oh, that's exactly what it is. Oh no. That's how it's gonna be. Oh no. It's there forever. I'm sorry.
Just instead of wanting to cancel Christmas, he's going to turn up in Whoville or wherever it is that happens and burn everything down.
Burn it down. Down with it. Down with your holidays. And then from there, we take a little bit of a jump up. At that point, we're going to be looking at the Chain Devil. Ooh, we went from kind of weirdly, almost in a strange way, interesting and adorable, to not that at all. These guys are really very scary looking.
Yeah, Chain Devils are nothing to laugh at. Challenge rating 8. I mean, I really like them, but not in that kind of, this is fun and cool kind of way. Just in the kind of like, these are nasty.
They are brutal.
Like, they just encompass that cruelty and malice of hell. Like they're torturers, jailers. They are enshrouded by these animated chains and can, animate spikes and chains in the environment around them. They can make themselves look like the enemies or dead loved ones of their foes. Like, it's... Ugh.
I know, they're awful. And like you were saying, these are torturers. These are people who are here in hell specifically to torture the souls of the damned. And if they are on the material plane, they are active, they are here for a purpose, they are very ambitious, they're here to wreak some havoc, and they can actively do that. The way this guy is drawn with the chains over his face, really, it freaks me out. This guy really looks like something out of a very metal horror movie.
Oh yeah, I love how the animation and the movement is captured. You can just hear the kind of clanking and whistling of those chains as they whip through the air around this guy. Real Hellraiser vibes, as you say.
I feel like I can smell this one. I can smell like the grease and the heat coming off of these thick chains and the sound of them coming at you. Oh boy, it's a very... You can see the motion lines on this guy. It's a very visceral piece of art. It really implies how this guy is going to be dealt with when you're fighting him.
Yeah, fighting him, even if he's just on his own, which is not always likely. Plenty of damage resistances, pretty nasty attacks, like not just with the damage, but those chains have the ability to grapple you if they hit.
Do straight, get over here. Like you were saying, that unnerving mask where he can look like your loved ones can really throw a wrench in a fight. And this is another one of those things where devils do really get fun, that it's not just punchy brawl. This guy is here to mess with your mind, and it makes things interesting and dynamic.
Yeah, even if he is setting out to kill you, he's going to be messing with you while he does it.
Mm-hmm. And same campaign where I dealt with the bearded devil, eventually we got to this guy, and he sucked. Oh, he sucked. He messed with us for forever. Oh man, because the bearded devil had to listen to us. I think we knew his name, but the chain devil really wanted to screw with us, and it was awful. We kind of lost some sense of reality there for a minute. It was miserable.
You know who's worse, though?
And he's so much worse.
And we're still only on lesser devils at the moment.
Yeah, lesser devils, we're still getting this big old bone devil, which is...
I love the bone devil.
Oh, they're so cool. I know in the unboxing, when we did the Avernus unboxing, when that mini came out, we flipped out. He's so cool looking.
He is huge and terrifying and deadly and so metal.
Oh, I know. The look on his face, the way everything is pulled back. Everything feels stretched and taut with this guy.
Yeah, this kind of dry, almost desiccated looking skin stretched taut over these spines and bones, those insectoid wings, that long, vicious spine tail, that skull, just his face. Just his face.
It's very much got like that alien vibe, that, the alien.
Yeah, it is actually kind of Geiger-esque, isn't it? Now that we think about it.
With the large gaping mouth and the way everything is elongated and crawling. The way it fades from that stark white to that red. It's beautiful, but it almost feels as though that's because everything is stretched so thin you're seeing capillaries and veins, and it's awful.
It looks like it should be in pain.
In a way, I kind of assume it is. I assume that a lot of devils are, since all of them at some point were damned souls. I assume that there's a pain that goes along with this.
I'm sure there's an argument to be made there.
Yeah, it's my personal flavor for it. And everything about it, him looks like it's protruding out. And that really shows in the way that he plays. These guys are taskmasters of other devils. They are deeply corrupt. They're driven by pretty much every one of them 7 deadly sins that you can think of. It drives them very much at a base level.
Yeah, like they will begrudgingly take orders from things above them in order to curry favor, and they almost want things beneath them to fail so that they can be demoted because it relishes in that suffering.
Mhm.
Yeah, like,
And then we start to get to its actual attacks, which again we see a lot of things that we see in a lot of devils. We see devil sight, we see resistances, we see immunities to poison and fire, telepathy,
and the ability to poison you.
He's got a fly speed 40 feet again. This guy's
Terrifying.
actually, unlike though a lot of things where you'll see this fly speed be faster, this guy's equitably fast on the ground, so he's gonna crawl at you at 40 feet. You can't outrun this guy very easily.
Yeah. Yeah, as you say, those immunities, the claws, the ability to poison. I find the variant that you get with this guy quite interesting as well. That
The
it could,
plumb.
in theory, come at you with a polearm weapon made of bone.
Yes.
So imagine this guy, but with greater reach.
Yeah, so it's got a long reach. It's got that pole arm, which can grapple you, so it's going to pull you back in. And again, unless you're playing a particularly speedy class, this guy is generally going to be faster than most adventurers. So he's going to catch you and try and pull you in to attack you from close range. And again, that plays so much into what makes devils fun about the flavor of them, about them trying to pull you in, about trying to get you closer. Everything about them, from their roleplay to their combat, feels like that.
Yeah, it's very much one of the underpinning features of everything that you get in this section, and it's, frankly, why I think devils are, just great as not just enemies, but in terms of entities in themselves. Thank you so much for joining us again here on the Bestiary, Monster Manual A through Z. Next time someone tells you to go to hell, you can just come and watch some of our videos. And while you're there, you can give us a like, hit that bell to be notified of when we release new content. If you haven't already, you can subscribe, give us a comment, let us know what you think. And hey, while I've got you here now, why don't you click here and see some of the other videos we put up? We sure appreciate and love having you there.